Anthony Albanese is finished as Prime Minister. After today, it is over for him. I doubt he'll quit because, shame. It's dead in politics. He'll limp on somehow. But today it was devastating for his reputation and his authority. Let me tell you just how bad it was for him. Even before former Treasurer Josh Frydenberg paid his own tribute in Bondi to the 15 Jews slaughtered there on Sunday by two alleged Muslim gunmen, when he unleashed one of the most devastating condemnations of a Prime Minister I've ever heard. And I'll come to that. But Albanese is now so diminished and so scared of the righteous fury of Jews and others over his extraordinary failure to confront our lethal Jew hatred that we today witness something appalling. Our Prime Minister did not even dare show his face at the first of the funerals for the Bondi dead. The funeral of Rabbi Eli Schlanger, father of five. The opposition leader was there, the Nationals leader was there, the New South Wales Premier was there, but not the Prime Minister to witness the grief. Here's the rabbi's father-in-law.
The time of sorrow. Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. Hashem, why did you forsake me? I tell you, Eli, lama sabachthani.
If the Prime Minister cannot be at the funeral of a Jewish Australian rabbi murdered in the worst massacre of Jews outside Israel in many, many years and on our soil, what does that tell you? Whose Prime Minister is he? What use is he to anyone? And has he really, truly put his image, his spin, his fear of being booed above his duty? And that, by the way, is exactly how we got here, pandering for Muslim votes instead of heeding the cries of Jews for protection from the Jew hatred. Now, one of the other ministers responsible for turning this government so anti-Israel and for feeding this Jew hatred is Foreign Minister Penny Wong. Well, she did emerge from hiding to pay her tribute to the Bondi dead, who've paid with their lives for the Jew hatred that this government and others let run riot. But you look at the picture that she posted of that, of herself bringing flowers. She's hiding behind a Holocaust survivor. That's her human shield. And she's placing her flowers not at Bondi, where there'd be a huge crowd of Jewish mourners who might boo her, but at the Holocaust Centre in Adelaide, where there was almost no one. And on radio this morning, Wong again hid behind Jews. More Jews hid behind their grief, using that as an excuse for refusing to answer questions about her own role in this tragedy, in this Jew hatred.
This is a time where we are grieving, and I offer my condolences to those the Jewish Australians who have lost loved ones, to those. I offer my support to those who are recovering in hospital, and I'm not going to get into a political debate.
No, of course she doesn't dare. Tony Burke, the Home Affairs Minister, another key figure in turning the government against Israel to court the Muslim vote. Well, I've showed you before him being heckled at Bondi 2 days ago, and today it was the turn of Deputy Prime Minister Richard Marles.
If a government's primary job, its first job, is to protect its citizens, have you failed the Jewish community?
Well, certainly I understand that people within the Jewish community, but actually people across Australia, will have a sense that what occurred on Sunday night is shattering to people's sense of security. It is really important that we are doing everything within our power to stamp out the scourge of anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is at the heart of this, and it's really important that we're doing everything in our power to stamp it out.
Richard Marles at least had the guts to turn up, but Otherwise, this is a morally bankrupt government led by a man who this morning was reduced to babbling inanities at a press conference that he called at next to no notice, so few journalists could turn up to ask him tough questions.
Love is more powerful than hate. That is what we need to see.
I mean, how pathetic. You could read that on a Hallmark greeting card. I mean, tell that line to the families of the dead. Prime Minister, will love bring back those that they loved? And into this vacuum of leadership stepped Josh Frydenberg, the former Treasurer, to express the rage of so many Jews in words that will not soon be forgotten.
This massacre at Bondi is the greatest stain on this nation, has brought the greatest shame to our nation. I'm here to mourn, but I'm also here to warn. Unless our governments, federal and state, take urgent, unprecedented and strong action, as night follows day, we will be back grieving the loss of innocent life in another terrorist attack in our country. Our Prime Minister, our government, has allowed Australia to be radicalised on his watch. It's time for him to accept personal responsibility for the death of 15 innocent people, including a 10-year-old child. It's time our Prime Minister accepted accountability for what has happened here.
Frydenberg went on to demand the government finally crack down on the hate preachers who've helped whip up this lunatic Jew hatred that had two alleged gunmen, two Muslims, who, police will allege, even went to the Philippines, reportedly for terrorist training. People who allegedly shot dead so many Jews at a celebration of Hanukkah at Bondi Beach. And in that, Frydenberg was joined by three former top security chiefs, Nick Warner, Duncan Lewis and Dennis Richardson, who between them have led most of our top security organisations. And they too said, you know, Albanese's promise of more gun control, that's fine, but it's the Jew hatred that needs to be fought. And the ideology driving it, the religion driving it, said Lewis, the former ASIO boss. But even today, Albanese still couldn't bring himself to do anything but prattle bland slogans smelling of defeat.
Hard to legislate against such massive hatred.
Oh, then give up and go home. In fact, Albanese and his officials don't want to talk about Islam or immigration. They don't want to talk about keeping out immigrants who've grown up in cultures of Jew hatred. Even the new head of the Australian Federal Police, Christy Barrett, she's been playing that game. You know, this isn't about religion.
These are the alleged actions of those who have aligned themselves with a terrorist organisation, not a religion.
Not about religion. The two alleged gunmen actually had flags of the Islamic State at the scene of the crime. What does the Commissioner think the word Islamic in Islamic State actually means? But the ABC's political editor also repeats that nonsense. Oh, nothing to do with Islam, folks.
Targeting Jews, it is anti-Semitic, but we are ascribing all sorts of things, right?
Yeah, their actions are not based on their religion.
No, nothing about religion. So I now am going to leave you with a compilation of the preaching of some Muslim clerics, including one from the very Islamic centre that the younger alleged gunman attended. And I'm going to show you also a group of Hizb ut-Tahrir men chanting in the street. And all of these people are from Sydney. And I will ask you to consider, what, is this really nothing to do with religion? nothing to do with immigration. And as you listen, you might just figure that as well as the Jew hatred of the hard left, this might well be the kind of preaching that has helped make Jews fear for their lives here. It's the hate preaching that this Albanese government never seriously tackled. Never.
The flag that they talk about that belongs and a symbol for ISIS and Tanzim al-Qaeda. This is the flag of the Muslims. Raise up the flag of La ilaha illallah so you die as a martyr.
And Allah Azza wa Jal prefers those who go out and fight in His path, and He prefers them over those who sit idle.
فهذا المقصود من القتال والجهاد لأعداء الدين أن يدفع شرهم عن الدين وأن يذب عن دين الله الذي خلق الخلق له حتى يكون هو العالي على سائر الأديان.
نحن إرهابيين، والله ما حدا غيركم غير أنتم إرهابيين. نحن بدنا نسكت، والله أنتم اللي لازم تسكتوا وتغطوا وجوهكم من قدامنا.
اللهم احصهم عددا واقتلهم بددا ولا تبقي منهم أحدا.
Bani Israel has always been a problem. They cannot fight a people that love death more than they love life.
We'll liberate Palestine! We'll liberate Palestine! خيبر خيبر يا يهود! خيبر خيبر يا يهود! اللهم ولتنا رقاب اليهود! دمر دمر اليهود! دمر دمر اليهود!
Not about religion, guys. Anthony Albanese says his focus so far has been on gun control. No wonder this man does not now dare go out to comfort the Jews, even at a funeral. He has betrayed them and betrayed his country.